Welcome back to another episode of Start Living Sustainable. It turns out, ladies, there are a few good men listening. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of sustainability. I want you to know how important it is. Now, you may be thinking, oh, great, another lecture on recycling. But hold on. Hold on to your reusable coffee cups because I've got a lot more in store for you. Picture this. You're at a party and someone starts talking about their new eco-friendly bamboo, whatever, you fill in the blank. And suddenly you're the coolest person in the room because you actually know what that means and why it's important and awesome to understand what sustainability is and how it affects us each individually. But who knew that saving the planet could also have an impact in your social life? So stick around as we break down what sustainability really means, how it fits into your daily life, and why it's not just for tree huggers or crunchy granola types. I want to share some practical tips, a few eco-friendly insights, and maybe even a surprising reason to compost that banana peel. So trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll be ready to swap those plastic straws or some other practices for something a little more sustainable. So let's get started. Hi friends, welcome to Start Living Sustainable. I'm your host, Cynthia Harvey Brown. In this podcast, I'm going to help you discover sustainable ways to improve your overall health and well-being in your home. And I'm going to show you how to do this without spending a lot of time or money, all in partnership with God. Yes, if you're ready to show yourself some love, experience a new level of wellness, build faith, and align your values with God's vision for your life, then you're in the right place. Pour out the diet soda, and we should talk about those yoga pants. Let's have some serious fun in today's episode. As we jump into today's episode, I would love to be able to provide you accountability and support you in your wellness journey. I do this by having one-on-one coaching sessions with a few health-conscious individuals who are ready to transform their health and their home. I'd like to discuss this with you. Are you open to that? If so, click the link below to snag your spot with me at startlivingsustainable.com. I'll leave the link down below. Again, you can go to startlivingsustainable.com to get started. I've always been interested in health and wellness. I've always advocated for that for myself and my family. But my journey, my entry point into detox living actually started over 20 years ago as a fashion designer working in the textile and the fashion industry. It was there that I encountered so many different chemical substances and finishes that were used on the materials that ended up becoming clothing. Being involved in the manufacturing process and seeing the dyes and the toxins that I was exposed to, it took me a while before I realized that my health was being affected by these toxins that I was surrounded with in the work environment. It expanded from there to my home environment. I started looking at all of the different things that were surrounding my body, what I was putting in my body, including the food I ate, what I was putting on my body, including the personal care products that I was using, as well as the clothes. All of these factors helped me to realize that so many chemicals around us can affect our health, our vitality, and our well-being. That's when I decided to take control of what I brought into my home. Once I started doing that, I started to realize that my skin sensitivity and my allergic reaction to so many different things improved. It was then that I realized I need to share this with other people because they probably aren't aware. That's when I started advocating for a way of living that eliminated some of these toxins that interrupted our wellness. So hopefully you are open to come to the realization that you too can actually live your life without all of these toxins, some of which you may not be aware of, but that's why I'm here to actually bring attention to what you can do to eliminate them so that you can start to feel better. All right, let's dive into the wonderful world of sustainability. Now, first up, what exactly does sustainability mean? And no, it's not just a buzzword to impress your friends at brunch. It's much deeper than that. At its core, sustainability is truly the practice of meeting your current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. We're not just thinking about ourselves, we're thinking about our children and our children's children. So the key principle here is there has to be a balance between environmental health, economic viability, and social equality. When you think about sustainability in context of your daily life, you're looking at your personal habits. It also means that we're considering practices that we incorporate in our homes that are sustainable, how we're consuming and purchasing. What are those habits that we have in place that maybe we need to look at, revisit, and change, thereby choosing practices and products with minimal environmental impact? Even when you think about transportation and what that means, whether or not using public transportation is something that you've ever considered, or carpooling, for instance. Some people like riding their bikes to work or walking to reduce their carbon footprints. And of course, we know there is a major interest in hybrid and electric cars. There is a reason for that. Let's talk about some sustainable practices that you can actually incorporate in your home. Keep in mind that there are many of them that I share in my coaching session. I literally go room by room. A couple eco-friendly products that you might incorporate, say, in your kitchen. It could mean reusable shopping bags, or using stainless steel water bottles, or cast iron cookware. Of course, reducing food waste by considering how you're planning your meals and properly storing any leftover food, as well as using compost in your garden. Eating locally sourced organic and plant-based foods can also be considered to reduce the environmental impact. I've started to incorporate more plant-based foods in my diet, but truly it's about eating whole foods that are actually good for your body and avoiding processed foods. Those are just a few examples that you can incorporate in the kitchen. In the bathroom, a couple examples of sustainable practices could be using bamboo toothbrushes, or looking at the ingredients in your personal care products and switching to something that's less chemical laden. And just overall, conserving energy and water simply by turning off lights when they're not in use, turning off water when you're brushing your teeth, and switching to energy efficient light bulbs. You may be asking, why does sustainability even matter? Well, the health impact that it has on all of us is so important to try and offset, because unsustainable practices introduces toxins and pollutants into our daily environment. These can cause all kinds of health issues. So by eliminating some of these pollutants, chemicals in the products that we buy, and the poor dietary choices that we make, we can actually improve and boost our health. When you think about the environmental impacts that we are faced with, there are reasons for us to incorporate sustainability, because it's really important that we are mindful of what we're stewarding here on this earth and preserving our natural resources for not just ourselves, but for our future generations. Then there's the economic impact, the long-term financial benefits of sustainable practices versus the cost of neglecting our health and not prioritizing it, and the medical expenses and symptoms that we suffer now and later on in life. We see more and more health issues, chronic illnesses, and symptoms that we're not associating with unsustainable practices. There is definitely a connection between our personal health and environmental health. and our perspective and understanding how living sustainably can actually benefit your personal well-being and how it's intertwined with the health of our environment. Think about how clean air, water, and soil contributes to our health and prevents diseases. Our lifestyle choices really matter as it pertains to our health. The sustainable living choices can lead to a healthier lifestyle. As simple as that. When you think about prioritizing your health and what you can do in your home right now, it may be overwhelming. That's why I'm here. I can help you to identify and eliminate some of those common toxins inside of your home that's having an effect on your health and well-being. When we think about the broader impact that we have as individuals, starting in our home and adopting sustainable practices in our community and how that can improve our overall health, it makes it a little easier for us to say, okay, we can make some small changes in our everyday life. I encourage you to take those small steps. That's where it all begins. And gradually integrate sustainable habits into your daily routines. It's not as hard as you may think. Sometimes all you need is someone to talk to or the support from someone that can help you make those changes, and so that you can start to see the difference in your life and in the lives of your loved ones. So don't wait. If you're ready to prioritize your health and well-being, starting in your home, go to startlivingsustainable.com, grab a session, and let's get started. You'll thank me later. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next week for another episode of Start Living Sustainable. Thank you for joining me here today at Start Living Sustainable. Please take a moment and head over to Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. That really lights me up. If you were encouraged or blessed in any way, show your love and share the episode link with someone that you know that may benefit. Thank you so much, and until next time, God bless you, sis.